A very good morning, namaste, and a warm welcome to one and all who have joined this session of BEAT ISC. I am Sandesh Jain, convener BEAT ISC, and I feel privileged to welcome you all on behalf of ISC Council for the third guest lecture of our Innovation Week, that is, the session on entrepreneurship and innovation as career opportunities by Mr. Baldev Singh Rawat, founder and CEO, Value Creation Nagpur. I would like to thank our principal, Dr. N.M. Kane sir, for allowing us to conduct the session. I would like to welcome our resource person, respected Mr. Baldev Singh Rawat, for gracing the occasion. I would also like to welcome President BIT ISC, Dr. S.M. Mahajan sir, our Vice President BIT ISC, Dr. Jayesh Rurikar sir, all other office bearers of BIT ISC, students coordinators, and all my dear participants. As we know that BIT ISC is celebrating an Innovation Week from 26th January to 31st January 2021. Today, we are having a third session of our Innovation Week. For this, I would like to request our respected Dr. S.M. Mahajan sir, President BIT ISC, to formally inaugurate today's session and guide us.
Thank you, Professor Jain. Good morning to one and all. In the era of Atmanirbhar Bharat, where one is advised to become a job creator rather than the job seeker, we want that our students acquire necessary knowledge and skill required for organizing and carrying out innovation and interns entrepreneurs activities. We also want them to develop the ability of analyzing and understanding the business situation in which entrepreneur act and master the knowledge necessary to plan business activities. Innovation and startup remains at the heart of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And to explain this, we organize today a session on entrepreneurship and innovation as a career opportunity. I thank Mr. Baldev Singh Rawat for accepting our invitation and joining us for today's session. I also ask the young participant to learn from this session about how innovation can act as an alternative career option and learn practical entrepreneurial skill and knowledge from this session. At the last, I inviting Professor Rawat for giving us very nice lecture. Thank you very much. Over to Professor Jain.
Thank you, Mahajan sir, for inaugurating this session of Innovation Week and explaining how innovation can also be one of the alternate career options for becoming a job creator rather than job seeker. So today we are fortunate to have the esteemed guest of honor, Mr. Baldev Singh Rawat, present with us, and he will be sharing his invaluable knowledge about how one can choose entrepreneurship and innovation as career opportunities. Now I would like to request our Vice President, Dr. Jayesh Rurikar sir, to introduce our guest of honor, Mr. Baldev Singh Rawat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to the session on entrepreneurship and innovation as career opportunity during the Innovation Week of Bajaj Institute of Technology, Varda. I take this opportunity to welcome today's guest speaker, Mr. Baldev Singh Rawat, who is an expert for this webinar today. Our speaker, Mr. Rawat, is the founder and CEO of Value Creation, Think Value Creation Private Limited from 2017 to 2021. He has done his Bachelor's of Electrical Engineering and worked on wireless power transmission, and he has 17 national papers and won 5 first prizes. He has done short-term residential program in management development program, in strategy, consulting, executive education from Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. Our speaker, Mr. Baldev Singh Rawat, is a first-generation entrepreneur running a bootstrap education startup for last 7 years. He has authored a book entitled Strength Ecology and author of upcoming books like Leaders, Bedtime Stories, and How to Think of Business Ideas. He was a guest speaker and trainer at Officers Training Academy, Indian Army, Indian Institute of Management, Indore, Xavier School of Management, Indian Law School, Pune, IEEE, Radio City, ETV, News 24, and Amravati Management Association. His past experience includes founder, content development and delivery head for Resume It Up, project engineer for Kosan Crisp Plant, marketing executive in Times of India. Today, we are fortunate to have such resource person with us. I'm sure we will be enriched by insight given by Mr. Rawat on entrepreneurship and innovation as a career opportunity. Once again, I thanks to all the participants of this webinar. Now, I would like to request Mr. Rawat to address the audience. Thank you, and over to Mr. Rawat. Sir, please.
Thank you so much, Mahajan sir, Ruika sir, and Jan sir, for inviting me. It's a really big pleasure of mine to speak at a college where my professors, Professor Dalvi, Kane Professor, my project guide, Professor KD Joshi sir, and Vivek Bhusari sir. So it's really a privilege to come and speak at a college, Bajaj Institute of Technology, Wardha. So I have planned to share few stories, and these stories are hyperlocal in nature. Means these stories are from Nagpur and Wardha region, and these stories are of entrepreneurship, like students in third year, final year, those who have chosen as a path to start their own companies from scratch from city of Nagpur, so that our students in first year to final year can relate to those stories. So I do not intend to share stories of like somebody from IIT Bombay or somebody from IIM Ahmedabad, but I would like to share some relevant stories from our local ecosystem, and stories of people you can relate. Okay, so this person is living just 50 kilometers from me, and he has studied in a similar college, have a similar background, have started something really good, which is helping the society, and he is able to make some fame and money out of it as well. So what are these stories, and can I go and meet these people personally? So I intend to share some stories, but to start the session, I would like to give my background around what make me speak on this topic of entrepreneurship and innovation as a career opportunity. So this all starts with when I was deciding my career. So it was 2011 when I passed my engineering, and I did my engineering in electrical field. So uh, 2011 I landed up into my first job through campus placement, and it was a Danish company called Kosan Plant. I joined there as an electrical engineer. Within few months, I felt something that the joy of doing some meaningful work in my life was missing. So though I was very passionate about electrical engineering and I wanted to work in core, and I struggled a lot to get this job because I was not even 60 percentile in my 12th. So I got around 57 in 12th. So it was tough for me to get a job. But with the help of the college and faculty and everyone, I managed to get into a very good job, and my job was highly like they paid me really good, and I was respected in my job. So I got a package of 4 lakh rupees. But while working, somewhere I started feeling that okay, this will go on for next 30-40 years, this career which I'm starting now. And this is where I was actually feeling what my career will uh, look like, and this is what I'll feel in my career the first 6 months. And this is where I felt that okay, for me as a person personally, working with people excites me more than working with machines. But I was thinking that okay, I'm pretty late. I've already entered a company. I've accepted their offer, and I applied to that company. And I'm thankful that they have given me this chance to work with them. And it was a very big company, huge company, good systems and everything. And I was getting an opportunity to travel here and there, and they had esteemed clients, opportunity to meet these clients. So everything was good. But what was that one thing missing? So this is that story, or uh, that start of a career. So I would like to start from there, that era of 2011, and what happened and why I chose to become an entrepreneur later in my life. So to share what happened actually, now I look back and I could think of three things. First, the joy of living, the joy of working. Second, when I was choosing a career, it was around money, how much money I'll make. So I'll speak something around that as well. And third was the role and the designation. So something I saw a pattern over there. So that also helped me enter into entrepreneurship. So to start with, I'll share something around money. So I got into this company as a project engineer, and I was paid 4 lakh rupees a year. And I saw that when I'll get a promotion in next 3 to 5 years, on an average, you'll get a promotion in 3 to 5 years. If you're really good, you'll get a promotion in 1 or 2 years. If you're really slow, then you'll get a promotion in 10 years. So being an average person, I thought that, okay, I'll get a promotion maybe in 4 years, 3 to 5 years. So I'll be getting a salary of maybe 4 to 6. I'll reach 50% increment, and then from 6 to 8 I'll reach, or maybe 6 to 10 in next 10 years. So I'll make somewhere around 10 lakh rupees. So to average it out, in the first 10 years of my life, in my career, I'll be making somewhere around 60 lakh rupees, 60 to 70 lakh rupees. In the next 10 years or the next decade of my career, I'll be making somewhere around 1 crore rupees. And in the last decade of my career, maybe if I work for 30 years, then I'll be making somewhere around maybe 1.5 crore rupees. So put together, I'm talking about 3 crore rupees, roughly speaking. And this is the calculation done by a freshly passed out engineering student who is trying to understand what is career without using someone's framework. I was trying to come up with my own calculations. So this is what was going in my mind, that okay, I'll be making somewhere around 3 crore rupees in my lifetime, roughly maybe 3 to 4 crores. And as a person, I was able to save somewhere around 20% of my monthly or yearly salary. So I thought that, okay, so somewhere I'll be able to save somewhere maybe in my lifetime 80 lakh rupees, 60 lakh rupees. So when I reached to that figure in my rough notebook, that okay, I'll be saving somewhere 60, 70, 80 lakh rupees in a lifetime, it was a shock to me, because I thought that getting a job and I was done. But this figure was really shocking, and I wanted to understand that how I will be able to get a house or a car or whatever, and finance education of my future children and everything. So that was around money. So people told me that it is highly secure to get a job, and it will be highly rewarding. But this was my calculation. Good or bad, I do not know, but this is what I thought. So I'm just sharing with you so that you can also calculate. If you land up into a job of 10 lakh rupees, 12 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees, you can just calculate how much money you're going to make in your 30, 40 years of career. Second thing which I calculated was my roles. So I landed up into a project engineer. Soon I'll be an engineer or a senior engineer. So every promotion, if I take 4 years to get promoted, so in first 10 years, I'll be more or less in engineering roles, and I'll become a senior engineer. But after I become a senior engineer, I can't become a senior engineer or pardada engineer. I have to move to management. So this is where my engineering domain knowledge would be challenged, and I'll need to learn something about management. I'll be responsible in my new role as a manager, where I'll be managing a lot of engineers or senior engineers and junior engineers and a team of engineers. And mostly my work would be like a HOD or some manager in a firm. So I'll be like doing management mostly, and then I'll be going further in my management in the next decade of when I'll be like 33 to 40 year of age. I'll be doing a lot of senior management promotions, and after senior management, I'll be going into the business roles, the CXO roles, the vice president of sales, marketing, XYZ, or VP of production. Then maybe the unit head of that particular unit or country head. So these positions will also require me to have understanding of HR. How do I hire people? of finance. I'll be responsible for the P&L, the balance sheet of the company, of everything. So the whole business understanding I need to have. So I saw my 3 decades of career into one, my domain knowledge. Second would be around management, managing people and resources. And third would be managing the business. So I thought that, okay, in any ways, I'll be drifting towards management. And this also helped me take a decision around entrepreneurship, that why not start it early and learn that. So that also became a basic of my decision making, decision metrics. So I've shared 2 things, and the last one was joy of working. So when I look back in my life, the most amount of joy I used to get was with working with college students, organizing events, and doing that thing. So, but I never wanted to become a motivational speaker, or so I was clueless that how I would get an opportunity again in my life to work with uh, third year, final year students. So I took a break from my work, and I came back to my city, and I started exploring different options and reading more about career in search of some meaningful work, because I will have to do that work for longer, like maybe 30, 40 years in my life, 8 hours every day. So that work should be very meaningful for me. The work should be the core incentive, not the money or other things, because money anyways I'll get, and anyways it is not something where I can just trade off my joy of working. So my first metrics was, I'll work in a position, in a role in a company where I'll be the happiest for the work, and money and everything would be the bonus. So because I was young, I was able to do that decision, and I had this opportunity where I could still experiment and get into few roles. So this is where I also landed up into few studies, researches, and one of the research was from an organization called as Gallup. They work in like around 190 countries across the globe, and they have polled around 230,000 full-time and part-time employees in this research. So this is a very like comprehensive research, 230,000 people. And the findings of this research was that 63% people across the globe are disengaged with their work, and only 13% people are engaged with their work, and the rest are actively disengaged. That means some may say out of 100, 13 people are only motivated for their work, and rest are disengaged with their work. So I never wanted to be a disengaged uh, part of an organization. So I always wanted to be this engaged 13% part. For that, I need to choose where I will work. And that is a career decision to take, because we all fit in some tribe, but which tribe you will go, that is what you need to decide. And second research was a Stockist research firm. They polled around 80,000 cardiovascular patients, and they took their time of heart attacks, and they plotted that in time and weeks, days graph. And they found out that most number of deaths happen on Monday, and the time was 9 a.m. So it was really alarming for me to know these stats, and I started finding out, and this took me to different uh, exhibitions and different forums. And one such forum was by TIE Nagpur. So TIE is an association of entrepreneurs, and while I was sitting in the audience, I saw an entrepreneur coming on the stage. He was wearing sleepers, the shirt was out, and he sat on the chair, and he told, my name is Fanindra Sama. And he was like maybe 2 or 3 years elder to me that time. And he told that, my name is Fanindra Sama. I used to work in Infosys, and I saw this problem that I was not able to get a bus uh, from Hyderabad to my hometown because of Diwali rush. And to solve this problem, I made a simple website, and it called it RedBus. And for this, I was rewarded with 5,000 or 10,000, 5,000 or 500 or 1,000 crore rupees as an exit when I sold the company to make my trip. And I was really shocked. Well, okay, this person saw a problem, first step, solved the problem. For solving the problem, He never made a factory or like tons of things. He made a website. He named it RedBus. I can name a company RedBus, or a very simple name, very simple website. He got an exit of maybe like thousands of crores. What kind of career is this? Why don't I know about these sort of careers? So if I have to work somewhere, why not work in a career which is solving a problem and getting financially rewarded for that? And he left, and there came another speaker, another speaker, another speaker, another speaker, and there were 20 speakers. In these 2 days, I saw a lot of young entrepreneurs of our country from nearby cities doing amazing problem solving, which was really exciting as work, which was very rewarding financially. And it intrigued me that, okay, this term entrepreneurship or this term entrepreneur uh, is really good. And I started searching more about it and reading more about it, and this is where I chose a career of becoming an entrepreneur. So 2013, I started my first company, Resume It Up, and it also gave me this entry to a lot of entrepreneurship clubs. And this is where I learned a lot of things, entrepreneurship associations. So to know authors, you just write a book and you'll become a friend of authors, and then you'll have a lot of insights. So similarly, I started a small company, and that gave me an entry to a lot of entrepreneurship forum where I could go and talk to different mentors, and I had this access to local entrepreneurs as well. So early when I was starting my company, there's a college in Nagpur, Hislop College, and a student of Hislop College. I'm telling you these colleges' names so that you can relate to these stories, from where these people are coming and what they are doing. So the first story was of Jayesh. So Jayesh Bagde, he came to our office, and he was telling that, okay, so I am thinking of a new idea. And in next day in a conference and Sun and Sand Hotel, he pitched that idea, and he got 20 lakh rupees check on that idea. And he showed me that check that night. Okay, well, they finally got a initial seed fund, and I was like, wow, man, it is so simple to get funding. Somebody from Nagpur, from his club, can come up with an idea, pitch that idea, get a check of 20 lakh rupees, and started working. Soon he pitched that idea to Atulya Mittal, and then he got a funding of somewhere 78 lakh rupees, and with around a crore of rupees, he took an office and started a small team. And the startup name was GetNow.it. It was Swiggy of a model for any shop. So you can order anything from any shop in Nagpur, and they'll deliver that to your home, a mobile to fridge to anything, kirana. So it was home delivery from a local vendor. So that was a really beautiful idea, GetNow.it. And I saw that happening near me. Like, I never read about it. I could just go and talk to Jayesh over a cup of coffee outside his office, or a cup of tea, and ask him silly questions and understand what is it and how it is happening. How are you able to raise funds and do this and that? Second story is of a student from Ramdeva College. It is also a college in Nagpur. It's an engineering college. A third year student, Angad Singhi, uh, he came down to our office once, and he was telling. So back then he was a student and I was an entrepreneur. So he came down to our office, and he was telling about an idea that they'll make a library and they'll name it Padhantu.com or something. And so all fellow entrepreneurs appreciated that, and they were awarded a really nice idea, which sort of a thing. And then another friend of ours who was from Nuga College of Engineering, Nagpur, he moved out to an incubator in New Delhi, T Hubs. So he went to intern with them, and this is where he met a person, Project Raut. He pitched his idea that I want to work on this idea, and the project said, no, it is not really exciting. Do you have any other idea? And just a casual discussion, he told that, okay, in my final year project, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I was making this electric bike, which can be folded. And he just showed a picture of that or a video of that in the phone. And project said, ki, okay, you can raise funds on this, and I'll write you a check. So in an event of time, they got 50 lakh rupees of funding to start this company. And Angad started a company out of his college. So really exciting story in Nagpur, where a person is getting funded 20 lakh rupees of two fundings, 50 lakh rupees of funds, starting a electric bike making company, getting orders from Fasos to deliver 100 electric mobile. So I know more or less 100 such stories, which are from Nagpur area or nearby area. So these are for-profit stories. I also know a lot of non-profit stories, NGOs doing meaningful work and getting a lot of CSR money and getting a lot of meaningful work out of it. So it intrigued me that how young people are able to do a lot of good innovation and a lot of meaningful work, the work which will keep them happy. They'll get to their office all jumping, and they'll be financially rewarded for that as well. So I was really, really happy. Just excuse me. Sorry, huh? Uh, so also, I would like to share one more story. The story. So the person name is Sahil Chawla. He is from GH Raisoni Engineering College from Nagpur, 2013 batch pass out. If I'm correct, 2013 or 15. He was 2 years junior to me in my college. I'm 11 pass out. So he came up with an idea that, okay, can't we gauze petrol or oil with the electronic funnel? And he built that, and he got a US patent and India patent on that. Then raised funds from Nagpur investors and Delhi investors, and now he have raised more than 6 crores. And now he's also set up an office in US. And so I know a lot of these youngsters, those who are able to start small companies. They are growing them steadily. Some of them are failing as well, but when they are failing, they are moving forward. So it's called as failing forward. Every company with their failing and the next company they're starting is making them closer to what they actually want to do. And even if they fail in 5 6 companies and they achieve something, maybe 5 crore, 10 crore, 20, 30 crores in their 7th 8th companies, it is also a good value proposition. So because ultimately you're getting the joy of working. So I'll be able to share a lot of stories one on one, and if you would like to connect, and you can connect me on LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere. With you can just search Baldev Singh Rawat on Google and send me an invite. I'll accept, and we can talk. So last message before we get into Q&A from my side would be that as a career, you must look around entrepreneurship and innovate something, and you should be happy spending your work days. That should be the underlying principle. You should get that joy of work apart from everything else. So find people where you thrive, your tribe, and the work environments. Like I thrive with youngsters, so I work with youngsters. Second, I am really fond of education, so I work with education sector. So you choose your sectors, and if you want to choose those sectors, go get some internships and exposure around it, because you can be dead wrong while choosing. Because while I was in third year, final year, I never started into IT companies, and I was like, oh, I'm very clear that I want to work in a core sector, but I never worked in a core sector before. So when I went into a core sector, I said, okay, this is something different. So go do some trial and error with internships. And if you know how to apply to internships, externships, fellowships, you can Google or YouTube that, or you can ping me if you need more local insight. So I'll be able to help you in that as well. So the parting message is that if I was in your shoes, maybe in first year to final year of Vardha College, Bajaj College, I would be certainly doing a lot of startups right from the college. This is what will give me a lot of perspectives. And the best part about starting up from the college, maybe you can do that in your summer holidays, or maybe in routine as well. You can start in the evening, something small, something doable, and learn selling, marketing, research, and everything around that idea. So I'll do that for a reason of, because if my project fails or the startup fails, I can just keep my identity separate by saying that it was an experiment, it was a college project, and nothing is hurt. You are not labeled as failure. You should not get labeled as failure, because we'll discuss that some other day, the beauty of failure and what is failure. But I see this is a like inhibition among people, that what if I fail? So you start something in college, and if that startup fails, You can say it was a college project. It was given by Ruikar sir. I am not failing. It was a project which failed in 3 months, 4 months. It was but if it succeeds, you can always come back and tell, okay, it was my startup. So that you can only get in a college environment. Number two, once you start a company or a startup in your college, you will always be surrounded with your friends, and your friends are really something which motivates you. So if you fail alone, but you might be unhappy, but if your friends fail with you in a startup, you'll all be having a gala time. Okay, ये भी तो fail हो गया, right? So to start with your friends, and there are a lot of things which you can start. So we can someday get some time around how to start up companies, how to find initial funds, how to come up with ideas, how to write a business plan, business model, how to ideate, how to market, how to get initial 100 customers. So these things are available. People have done that, and you can talk to them, you can research them, you can read them in books. So it is just upskilling yourself. So if you are ready for upskilling, so we can discuss that as well. So I'll take a rest here, and I'll wait for your questions. Over to you, Jain sir and Rika sir. So are you mute?
The participants, if you have any questions, you can put it on chat box, and the resource person will be happy to answer your question. Sir, in the meantime, one of the student has actually messaged me on WhatsApp that the
Yes, sir.
question that people say that there is cash crunch in the market for entrepreneurs. So how to approach for persons for fund or
So I
venture
would,
capitalist, I would say. You just say no
okay,
that
yeah. So in some way it may be right, but for a good idea, there is no dearth, or like there is no less of a money in the market. So there's a cafe in Nagpur. So this person started a small uh, coffee store in Nagpur, and throughout this lockdown, people were lining up outside wearing masks, using sanitizers to buy this coffee. It is known as Corridor 7. And they brew their coffee and they serve their coffee. And they made money every day. And they made as if there was no lockdown. And they were profitable throughout this journey because they are having a good product, they have a good brand name, and they are doing really good work. So you'll see that top 5 companies in any sector, the quality startups, they'll always be doing good in any time. So this reminds me of a dialogue from a very good movie called as 300. And in this movie, the one character says this dialogue that, okay, so there'll be enough arrows from the other enemy, and these arrows will hide out the bolt the sun. And uh, this person from this army says that if they'll make a shade, and they'll bolt the sun, we'll fight in the shadow. And that attitude made everyone laugh, and it was it's a good moment. So being an entrepreneur, anything happens, you'll find a way to work it out, and that's entrepreneurship. Like jumping off the cliff and figuring out how to fly mean before hitting the floor is entrepreneurship. So you can always start up, get funds, and also you might have seen a lot of good startups starting without funds, right? They have bootstrapped their companies, a lot of good startups. So funds are never like bottleneck. uh, Bottleneck is ability to identify a problem for which people can pay. If people are paying, you need not go to an investor as well. Or to understand your resources, what you can start now and when you can start it, what you can incrementally increase into it once you'll get funds. So it is about strategy and planning. So rest assured that there's a lot of fundings. So last day I was judging a business plan competition. One day before that I was judging a business plan competition, and tomorrow also I'm judging a business plan competition at Triple IT Nagpur. So all competitions are giving you funds, as a winner, you can raise a lot of funds. So I know a startup from Nagpur. This is the fourth story maybe. They raised around 14 lakh rupees from business plan competitions. In Nagpur, there's a college, Raisoni Management College. So they do this business plan competition called as R Idea, and the first prize is 1.5 lakh rupees cash. Second is 1 lakh rupees cash, and third is 50,000 cash. And so there are a lot of competitions across India. So you can raise maybe around 10 lakh, 20 lakh rupees from different competitions as well. And this will also, help you validate your idea, whether your idea is good or not. So you can increase, change your idea or update your idea every time you pitch here and there. And second thing is you can raise funds through crowdfunding. So there are different crowdfunding platforms for a small small MVP or something. You can raise funds. So my younger brother wanted to go to Jagrati Yatra, and he wanted to fund his yatra, and it was around 62,000 rupees. So he just said that rather than me asking the 62,000 rupees to one person, let me ask 60 people in my class to fund me 1,000 rupees, or 120 people, my juniors, seniors combined, can fund me 500 rupees, and I'll be going to my yatra. It was a 15 days yatra, and he put up a video on Kato and raised that fund. So ability to get funds is part of learning how to become an entrepreneur. So these are two ways. Also, there are enough 14, 15 ways of getting funds. So there are a lot of crazy examples where people have. So Airbnb, you read how they launch their product and how they raise funds. So a lot of ways are there to raise funds, from competitions to crowdfunding to angel investors and different incubators. So a few days back, one of my teammate, who is still a student at Paloti Engineering College, Nagpur, got a government grant, and he got a patent, and is in final year of engineering of 25 lakh rupees. So government is funding. A lot of people are funding still in the lockdown, and people are able to manage successful businesses, run successful business. So rest assured that funding is not a challenge. It is an opportunity how creative you can be to raise your funds. So is it mute? Yes.
Yes, sir. The next question is that we are having is, if I am an entrepreneur, how to catch up the project? Is there any resource material to work with, and what is the role of incubators?
Wonderful, Mansi. I'll start with what is the role of an incubator. So incubator word comes from a machine which is used in hospitals to give an environment to a newborn baby, a warmth, a light, or something. It's an artificial environment which will help the child live longer. Similarly, business incubators are early stage support system which helps a company to grow, or it helps, like the startup, not they do not let the startup die. So it's a resource around a startup in early stage so that they can grow, because once you become 1 year or 2 year old, you develop immunity and you can face the world challenges. But initially, if you want to fight something, you can go to a business incubator. So there are different business incubators. So sixth or seventh example of our hyper local ecosystem is, there was a third year student from Ramdeva College. They applied to an incubator. It was a competition in IIM Bangalore, and they applied with an idea that we want to help other students find their passions. And they were selected. They were given 20 lakh rupees of funding plus office space and mentorship at IIM Bangalore. And they were able to use that funding to build up a business which is 2 to 5 crore rupees of business, and it is called as My Captain. And Samir is the person I'm talking about. So with other co-founders, they started this. Being a student, he started something. So being a student also, we can. So the last person I was talking about, Anirudh, he got a government grant, but he also got accepted into a international business incubator in Norway. So not only India, you have a lot of incubators, but you also have incubators across the globe, and you can apply to these incubators as well. And they also welcome international talented people to start businesses in their countries as well. So they also want entrepreneurs and problem solvers in their countries. So this is the role of incubation. And let me read your question once more. if I'm an entrepreneur, how to catch up the project. How to catch up the project. Like, how do you start a project? Is it like that? And is there any resource material to work with? Okay, so what should be your initial few steps to start up your journey or start up your project? So I'll always say, like, start with a problem statement. So there are a couple of ways to start. It is a science and it is an art as well. So it is a scientific art or artistic science. So don't take any one way too rigidly. You can always innovate in that process as well. But to give you some perspectives, I'll share something that when I wanted to start a company, I saw a problem and I had a solution, but I was not very sure that should I invest 2 3 years in without with on this solution, will that be successful or not? So while you're not able to decide which idea to pursue, you can always go and validate that idea. So there's a process of idea validation. So I went to a business plan competition and I went to talk to 20 different colleges with my idea, that this is my idea, this is what I'm planning to think. And when once they said yes, I was sure that okay, this idea will work. So you can test your hypothesis, you can test your market. So idea validation will give you confidence. It will give you confidence to your investors, team members, to you, and to your parents. They won't bug you again and again, get a job, get a job. So validate your idea. So you should uh, focus on these two things: how to come up with a really good business, how to write it in a meaningful way so that you can share it with others. So business plan, templates, and business models, you should research and read about them. So this is getting recorded, so you can always take these keywords and Google them. And maybe in comment section you can also write questions, and I can, if I see that again, so I'll come and post some relevant data, like links with you. So also there are a lot of uh, there's a lot of content around international startups, how they have grown. So Y Combinator have made some 20 videos around how do you start a company. There are a lot of good books written by good international founders, that how do you do good. So locally also you can meet a lot of entrepreneurs and mentors and know their stories, that how you have done this in Nagpur or how they have done this in Vardha. That will also give you a lot of insight. So these are the couple of few things you can start with. And if there any specific question, you can always ping me and just know more about incubator and accelerator. These are all resources which can help you.
Sir, taking this thought process further, the next question is this: that how to know about the idea that I'm working has the potential of being a startup.
Yeah, so really good question, Rahul. This is what I was talking about. That people at times come with couple of ideas, and it is called as multiple idea disease syndrome, where you're not able to decide which startup idea is good to work on and to give my time, energy, resources. So the one word answer is learn how to validate your idea really effectively. So there are ways to validate every idea, but that is a one word answer. Learn how to validate ideas. So just write how to validate ideas in Google and read at least 100 links, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And we can talk one on one about how you can start validating your idea if you have a specific idea, because it depends from idea to idea what are the unique phase of validating that idea.
Mm. Sir, in continuation with that, there is one more question. How do you know if our product do have the attributes that make a product that is sellable in market?
So sellable market. So market is a living organism. It always reply. It is not a dead thing. So what do you mean by market? You mean like maybe if you're trying to sell something to students or to parents, you can always go and talk to them and get a reply. So if you want to sell something to parents, like, so you can always go to parents and talk to them. I am planning of building a product. My product will have XYZ features. Would you be able to pay me XYZ for this? If they say yes or no, maybe if you meet 10 people and everyone say no, so you go and meet 20 more if you are persistent. If out of 30 everyone say no, maybe go and meet 100 people, and then out of 100 maybe say, if 50 say yes, you are good to go, right? Because then you can multiply and know the metrics, that in Nagpur there are 3 lakh parents, and out of those 3 lakh, 50% will say yes to me and everyone will pay me XYZ money. And then there are 100 cities like Nagpur, so in 5 years I'll be able to reach out to this market and I'll be able to make this money, and this product is good because my customer interviews are saying so. So market is a living organism. You can always go and talk to the market. So always talk to your customers or potential customers. Keep them close.
So this is the next question related to a student from electrical engineering. He says that if I want to choose a career in entrepreneurship, and currently I am studying in Bachelor of Electrical Engineering, can you please tell me about is there any gap between academia, education, industry, and might be entrepreneurship also?
So between X and Y, so X is education or academia, and Y is industry. So you want to know, is there a gap? So one more story from Nagpur. So there's a startup called as Skill E. So Skill double E, and they were making videos, online content, that how does a motor look like, and what is the practical elements of transformer, and they'll show you a motor, a transformer, and everything for electrical engineers, so that they can buy their 3,000 rupees of content and upskill themselves for industry. So third year and final year engineering students were their target audience. So this is a really good opportunity, and you are yourself a student of electrical engineer. You can also find other students similar to you, and you can ask them, भाई क्या कुछ problem है क्या तेरे को? Yeah, what do you want to be built around this? Is there a gap? So you can always go looking, and out of those all gaps you can choose which gap I can build something around, which is easy for me to do, and how I will be able to do it in a short time and grow it step by step. So that's how you can find a lot of gaps. So part of education is exposure. So if you're living in your hostel room or a home, you won't be exposed to a lot of different ideas and gaps. So increase this exposure of yours. So travel, meet people, at least keep this target of meeting 600 to 1000 people per year, and different people, like also interview your faculty member. Like Ruika sir, कुछ बनाना है क्या? आप कुछ startup करना चाहते हो क्या? Can I do it for you? Maybe he'll give you an idea. Talk to your juniors, to your seniors, final year seniors, or you are a president of our branch. What do you think should be made for students? So talk to different people. Industry, you talk. Your college is industrially very related to Bajaj Group. So go and travel and have experience of Bajaj Group, and ask them, is there anything I can make for you? So you'll get a lot of ideas. So is it mute? I can't hear you. Sorry.
Yes, sir. The next question says, sir, what are your success habits? Please give us guidance. And the next question from the same person says, sir, how do you market your business and which tactics have been most successful? This is
Okay.
from Manasri Sukhapi. The same person.
Yeah. So success is progressive realization of your worthy goals, and if you're having an internal peace, you are successful. And if you're not satisfied internally, and if you're not happy internally, I there's a constant struggle. You are away from the success. So know what is success. That's first way of achieving it. If you do not know what is success, you'll never achieve it. So read about success, know about success, what is success, define success for you. So I do not take somebody else's success and make it my success, that I'll reach here and there and then I'll be successful. So for me, journey is more important. So every day I should be living enough, because I do not know when this journey will be over. And to me, success is career successful. For me to live my career in a successful way would be to build up a non-profit impact with a profitable business. So I want to do a for-profit business with a non-profit impact, the impact of an NGO, but with a for-profit company. So this is what I'm constantly finding out, and it keeps me happy and excited all the time. And how do I market my business? Which tactics have been most successful? So marketing as a term was started in 1902 for the first time. But before that also, there were a lot of people, those who were able to market their ideas. Like Mahatma Gandhi convinced everyone across the globe to understand his idea. So he was able to market without WhatsApp or without Facebook. Gautam Buddha was able to transmit his ideas across the planet without airplane, without internet. So I started researching about Kabir and all successful human beings, those who have lived our planet, and how they were able to market their ideas, thoughts, organizations across the globe. So I learned a lot of things from there. And then Philip and Kotler is known as father of modern marketing. So I learned a lot of concepts from Philip Kotler. So I learned a lot of things from Wikipedia and YouTube and different books and mostly from entrepreneurs around me. So I'm regular to uh, different yearly and annual events like IIT Bombay's E-Summit and Thai Nagpur's TaiCon and other TaiCons in Delhi, Bangalore. So I go there and I listen to successful entrepreneurs, how they are thriving in recessions, how they are thriving when there is no money, or how they are thriving when the things go wrong or right. So what are the best things to do? And this is how I get always updated information. So I am myself a part of a lot of associations, and I've started a lot of associations, small associations, where I can talk in a longer, like repetitive meetings I can have with them. So I have invested my time and energy into establishing few associations locally as well. So all my marketing tactics have been changing. So recently, I'm focusing a lot on retargeting and understanding how Facebook and Google retargeting works, and how can I bring down the cost per lead. So this is where I'm focusing, and I'm really happy that I have discovered that lately. So it will be changing every year. So you can always come back and ask me this question every year, and I'll be telling you a different answer. What are my recent marketing tactics, or how do I reach my customer? Because customers will keep on changing, and the platforms, and but the core philosophy will be similar, what I'm learning. So there's a core philosophy and there are tools. So to talk about tools, I'm using Facebook ads and Google ads and Instagram ads and retargeting. So that's really interesting.
So the next question says, what is business analytics and how important it is for entrepreneurship and innovation? If you could throw some light on that topic.
Vaishnavi, I'm not a person to speak a lot on business analytics. I've never been a student of business analytics, though I intend to learn this in a couple of years. So I'm focusing a lot on business analytics. But whatever I understand out of it is like analytics is like you'll have a lot of data points, and how do you uh, get those data points and which data points? So there's a dashboard everywhere. Okay, so let me tell you this way. While you drive a two-wheeler, you can see a dashboard on your two-wheeler, petrol and speed. What if this petrol or speed was written in a text paragraph and was written like speed was on the near tires and petrol was near the petrol tank? Every time you want to check the petrol, you have to stop the vehicle and go back and check that and read a whole paragraph. So it will be a tedious process, and it must not be useful. So you want all the critical parameters in one place where you can see everything and understand everything in 1 second. You're driving, and 1 second you can understand everything. Similarly, when you're driving a business, there's sales, marketing, and a lot of different things happening. You want all the critical parameter, like you see a doctor using all the critical parameters of oxygen level and BP and everything in our dashboard. So you would want to have your own dashboard. So business analytics will help you make better dashboards, and if you have better understanding of better data, you can always take better decisions. So it's a tool to take better business decisions. So it is something X which helps you take better decisions, right? And this X will be built on this philosophy of taking good data from the business, and how do you can also use Python, R, and multiple things and different softwares in that. Maybe you can also use a simple whiteboard in that. Okay, I'll come and write my business metrics on this. How many number of like Swiggy have this data that last year most people ordered biryani on their platform. It's a meaningful data. So it's a business analytics function, business function. So really good question, and I'm really happy the kind of questions you guys are asking. Really good question. So I really appreciate that, the kind of questions you're able to ask. Pratiksha Nandurkar.
So the next question says, sir, is the two terms, whether entrepreneurship and innovation are two faces of coins or they are different? Can you differ or correlate these two things?
So again, though I have got an Mayor's Innovation Award, but I'm yet not a person to speak more around innovation. But certainly, I can speak something around entrepreneurship because I've been an entrepreneur and a student of entrepreneur in the last 10 years, and I intend to be a student of entrepreneur. And I also teach entrepreneurship in a course called as Mini MBA in Nagpur. So I know something about entrepreneurship, and these two terms can be taken as like if entrepreneurship is a big circle, and in that circle there'll be innovation, leadership, and small circles, and you need to master all these circles or some of the circles to be successful being an entrepreneur. And this act of innovation and creativity and discovering something are very useful being an entrepreneur.
So that are the questions that were present by the students. Students, if you have any questions, you can ask. Sir, what kind of guidelines you would like to give our students to start the projects that they are doing? How to find or convert that to a startup? What kind of guidelines you would like to give our students? The project they are making in final year or might be third year.
Yes, so definitely use all the resources you have. So by final year, I never knew that on seventh floor or sixth floor of our college building there's a lab which I could use. So I was very stupid not to even know my college completely. So pseudo your college professors, pseudo your friends, pseudo like your friends' family. So know all your resources really good, that whose parents are doing what, which faculty have got which background, what was their project, what are they excited about, what is college's strengths and weaknesses, what can college give us which other colleges can't. So know these things because you'll be using these things while doing your project for 6 months or 1 year. Second, start early. Start in first year, second year, third year to build on your project. So I learned from a college senior of mine that he presented a paper in first year to VNIT at VNIT and he got a first prize. And he gave me a pen drive with a lot of papers and abstract. And I was like, what is this paper? So by third year, I was already presenting papers and winning few competitions at Pandap College and this college, that college, and I was having a fair idea of what is uh, project or what I want to do. So I was very intrigued towards wireless power transmission, and then I requested Dr. KD Yoshi to help me do more in this, and then he was very graceful to help my team understand more about this process, and we also got to travel to few colleges to give presentations and know more about this. And one of my project mate and a friend, Asavri, she's still continuing to work on that project in her MTech, and now she's also pursuing further education in US. So I'm really excited that somebody is following that project. But what is the problem I see while choosing a project where people go wrong is that we have this constant habit of running, like from class 7 to 8 to 8 to 9 to from 12th we are in a constant hurry of getting into a college. We don't even think what to do, where to do, what not to do in college from first to second to third year to final year, and then to get into a company. So this constant hurriness is a issue. So take some time to decide something. Don't be in this hurry that okay, what if I don't decide now, what will happen? So people feel guilty when they take more time, and out of that guilt they take wrong decisions. That okay, I'm thinking since 15 days, I'm too late, my friends have figured out their project, I won't be able to figure it out, so let me go on with this template available or this person available. It's an opportunity to learn, and you'll be spending a lot of time, so use it uh, in a way where it becomes a strength and not your weakness. So take your time, nobody's late.
So thank you, sir, for answering so many questions. One question is like, which might not be related to entrepreneurship, but for entrepreneurship, yeah, that they might be asking, is it compulsory to go for further studies like MS after BTech to become a good entrepreneur? Might be for solving problems.
So this life is not compulsive in nature. Sorry. it is like you are on a 70-day holidays in Goa. So these 70 days are like 70 years on planet Earth. So I'm just taking this 70 years on planet Earth and correlating it to Goa 70-day tour. And you call me on 21st day in Goa, sir, can I do this? Can I go swim in at a beach? Can I do this and that? Boss, it is your life. You can do anything. So there is no compulsion. So you are very fortunate that you are able to live that life and you can take your own decisions. So out of all the decisions you can take, it is like a platter of like a buffet, and you can eat anything. So you should not ask that, sir, is it really compulsory to eat pizza, or is it really compulsory to eat this pastry? No, whatever you like, you can do. It's your life. Leaders don't take right decisions, they take a decision and make it right. So remember this statement: whatever you will take will also have a consequence in the future. Plan it, understand it, and take a wise decision, or you'll always get a time to make it right in execution. A very philosophical answer, but yeah, that's what I have to say.
So thank you, sir. And now it would be the time of vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering so many questions of our students.
Really enjoyed the questions. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Yes. So, respected dignitaries, Mr. Baldev Singh Rawat, sir, Head of Institutions, Dr. Kane, sir, President IC Council, Dr. S.M. Mahajan, sir, Vice President and our Innovation Activity Coordinator, Dr. Jayesh Roykar, sir, various other office bearers of BEAT ISC, and all my dear participants. Just like any other formal meeting, this session is also approaching its end. I would like to thank Mr. Baldev Singh Rawat, sir, who, despite of his very busy schedule, took out his time to share his wisdom and share his thoughts with our students. We are all very much motivated by hearing the words of wisdom which were shared by Rawat sir. The points shared today will surely be proving to be a milestone for our future work. It's the beginning of innovation and entrepreneurship. I would like to thank our management to give us permission and motivation to conduct the activities under ISC. I would also like to thank our principal sir, without whom this complete endeavor was impossible to manage, and whose continuous guidance, helps, and suggestions were like a beacon of hope for us. Thank you for everything. I would like to thank Dr. S.M. Mahajan sir, President ISA Council, Dr. Roykar sir, and all other office bearers, coordinators, and member of ISC for coordinating this event. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants who joined the session through YouTube. I am 100% sure that the students must definitely have gained a lot of from these sessions. With this, I officially declare that this session of ISC is over. Thank you all again for your support. Now, with the permission of our President, sir, I declare that this session of ISC is over. Now we will meet today at 3 p.m. for the session on National Innovation and Startup Policy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.